Algebra 2, we're going to dive right into adding and subtracting rational expressions, 8.5, Part 1a. In order to add and subtract fractions, if you remember, we need to get the least common denominator, or we'll call it the LCD. For instance, if we're going to add 9 over 40 plus 7 over 30, we need a common denominator. We know that 4 times 10 is 40, and we know that 3 times 10, so that they both have a 10 in them. Okay, but they're missing a 4 on one side and a 3 on the other. So we know that our least common denominator would have to be, so our LCD is going to be 4 times 3 times 10, which is actually 120. So if we notice, on the right, okay, we're missing a 4, so we need to multiply top and bottom by 4, and on the left, we're missing a 3, so we multiply top and bottom by 3. This gives us over a common denominator of 120, and then we have 27 plus 28, which ends up giving us 55 over 120, which is really equal to 11/24 reduced. So now when we determine the LCD, we have rational expressions. We need to look at them in terms of binomials and variables. So for instance, the first one, if we notice now sometimes it's easier when you have this minus sign. If you change that minus to a plus and then put the negative on the 3x, sometimes that helps. We have an x plus 2 here. So we're going to put an x plus 2 that we need. And on the right-hand side, we need an x minus 2. So our lowest common denominator is going to be x plus 2, x minus 2. So we're going to need to, what's missing, if we notice, we need an x plus 2 and an x minus 2. We're missing the x minus 2. So we're going to multiply the top 5x by x minus 2. Put a plus. Again, we have x plus 2, x minus 2. We're going to need to multiply this negative 3x by x plus 2. Now we can simplify out. Again, be careful with this little minus sign. If you left it a minus inside, make sure you do distribute that negative through when we simplify. So by multiplying out, we're going to get 5x squared minus 10x minus 3x squared minus 6x all over x plus 2, x minus 2. We now then continue to add like terms on top. So we're going to have 2x squared minus 16x all over x plus 2, x minus 2. Now that we simplified the top, we actually have to look at, well, is there anything that we can cancel down here that we see up there? We'll go back to, again, 8.4 is, can we factor? So if we try and factor on the top, if we factor out a 2x, we're going to be left with x minus 8. And on the bottom, we're left with x plus 2, x minus 2. If you notice, we cannot simplify anything, so here is our answer. If we do go back to the original problem, okay, we have to remember that our x's are domain restrictions. We know that x cannot equal negative 2 and positive 2. Number 2, what we want to do is we're going to have to factor. So hint, if we factor, okay, we're going to find our LCD. Okay. So if I cross this out, we know that this is x plus 2, x minus 2. If we factor out a 3, we have x minus 2. So if you notice, what do we have in both? Okay? Or you can just, again, take the left-hand term, the first term, and write down what we have. So right now our LCD is going to be x plus 2, x minus 2. And then write down what we don't have on the right. Well, we don't have a 3, so we need a 3. And we already have an x minus 2. So our lowest common denominator is 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. So what did I do just there is we're going to take all of the denominators from the first term, okay, and then we look at the second one and supplement for the ones that we don't already have. So if we rewrite, okay, we know we have 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 2 plus, and then same thing, same denominator, x minus 2. Okay, what do we need to multiply to the left? Well, we are missing from here, we're missing a 3. So we need to multiply a 3 times this x plus 1. And on the right-hand side, we have an x minus 2 and a 3. We're missing an x plus 2. So to the 2, we need to multiply by x plus 2. If we simplify, 3x plus 3 plus 2x plus 4 all over 3 times x plus 2, x minus 2, which equals 5x plus 7 over 3 times x plus 2, x minus 2. Is there anything we can factor out on the top? No. So right now that's our answer, where x cannot equal. If we go back to the original, and going way back over here, sorry about the mistake again, it cannot equal. We know that x cannot equal plus or minus 2, and it cannot equal, that's it, plus or minus 2. So again, when adding or subtracting rational expressions, kind of 3 steps. Make sure you determine the LCD, factor if needed. Okay. 2, we're going to multiply the numerator and denominator by the missing LCD factor. And 3, we then need to add and subtract numerator and then combine like terms. Be sure to keep the denominator when you add and subtract. Do not just automatically ditch it. Okay, and do not try to solve. You're not getting x equals. This is not an equal problem. All right, number 3. We have, I'm going to cross out the bottom for a minute. We have x plus 3 times x minus 3, x plus 3, and x minus 3. Okay, one mental note, if I notice the minus right between the first and the second term, I'm going to change the minus to a plus, put parentheses around the x plus 1, and then put a minus on the outside. It does help for distributing. So our LCD, put down the first term. I know I need an x plus 3 and an x minus 3. If I go to the middle term, we already have an x plus 3, and if I go to the last term, I already have an x minus 3. So our LCD is x plus 3, x minus 3. So on the first term, we're not missing any of those, so I'm just going to keep the 5x. And then we're going to add a negative x plus 1, but we're missing an x minus 3. So I'm going to multiply by an x minus 3 on top. And then the 2, we're missing an x plus 3. So we have to multiply an x plus 3 on bottom and on top. If we distribute through, notice in green right here in the middle, this is x squared minus 2x minus 3, but then we have to distribute the negative through. We're going to get 5x. We're going to get 5x minus x squared plus 2x plus 3 plus 2x plus 6 all over x plus 3, x minus 3, which equals negative x squared plus 9x plus 9 all over x plus 3, x minus 3. X cannot equal, if we go back to the original problem, we know it cannot equal negative 3 and positive 3. All right, go ahead and hit pause. Tricky one number 4. We'll see you back here in a few minutes. Don't forget, minus in the middle. Switch it from minus to plus, put the negative on the 3. Go. Welcome back. The one thing we need to be careful with over here on the far left is your LCD. You needed an x minus 3 and x minus 2, but on the right you needed 2 x minus 3. So we have to throw one more x minus 3 in there. So your lowest common denominator is x minus 3, which is another way of writing it, squared times x minus 2. So at the end, we know that 3 and 2 do not work, so x cannot equal those. And our answer is 3 times x squared minus 4x plus 2 divided by x minus 3, x minus 3, x minus 2. That's it for regular addition, subtraction. Next one's going to be complex. Remember, do your best to get the rest. Until next time. Bye for now.